सेव किया था ना?
मैं सिर्फ इसलिए गया था क्योंकि उसने मुझे कॉल किया, that's it. But listen though.
Save it for someone else.
जिंदगी में सेव करना जरूरी है, मगर जब बात पैसों की हो, सिर्फ सेविंग से काम नहीं चलेगा। इक्विटी म्यूचुअल फंड्स में इन्वेस्ट कीजिए और अपने सेविंग्स को आगे बढ़ने का मौका दीजिए।
Mutual fund investments are subject to market risks. Read all scheme-related documents carefully.
The scene from Canada keeps shifting to our Punjab and back to Canada because the story is still painting big time on the radar screen. Now, in Punjab, over the past several days, there's been a string of raids by the National Investigation Agency, NIA, which is the preeminent anti-terror agency of the central government. Now, a lot of these raids are not so much on Sikh radical families or networks or people who are held responsible for terror networks, running terror networks. These are, in fact, raids on gangster networks. Gangster networks in Punjab, we haven't noticed them adequately, although killings do emerge every once in a while, but gangster networks in Punjab have become a big problem. What has compounded the issue is that there is a nexus, there is a clear nexus between gangsters in Punjab. There are rivalries among gangsters. Wherever you have gangs, there will be rivalries. But there is a nexus between them and the radical groups, mostly based in Canada. Some are based in Italy. In fact, in Italy, as we speak, we are also processing a story which you will see of two Sikh groups fighting with each other in public over a Gurdwara caught on the video. But Sikh radical groups, they don't have much manpower in India or much shooter power in India, in Indian Punjab. So what they do is they use these gangs and gangsters as ready-made guns for hire. And that's how this larger nexus comes up, which is gangsters in India, drug smuggling, weapon smuggling, and then carrying out hits for money. And then what happens when heat gets too much on them, or what's been happening, maybe it's not happening right now because now biometrics control a lot of foreign travel. So it's very difficult to escape now on a fake passport. But until recently, even the gangsters have been escaping to Canada for some reason or some obvious reasons, which we'll try and explain to you. Canada has become a favorite destination of all of these. So to explain a lot of this stuff, some of it is cluttered for me as well, and I can read up and do it. But why should I read up and do it when I have Ananya Bhardwaj, our associate editor and sort of homegrown, fine reporter who covers crime, all kinds of troubled issues. She's just spent a lot of time in Manipur and has done stellar stories. She's been following these stories. She's been following the stories of Sikh radical groups, gangster killings, intelligence agencies. So she'll help us put this in perspective. So Ananya explained for us this gangster radical nexus, because if I see the list, there's a clear list. One list is gangsters, one list is people who we consider and people who are listed with charges against them or UAPA cases against them, right, of being separatist radicals, of being separatist terrorists. So what's the connection? Why are we talking of both in the same vein? And why is the NIA carrying out these raids in Punjab now, while the context is Hardeep Singh Nijjar and the charges from Canada?
You must have seen that NIA recently carried out raids across 53 locations in 6 states. In fact, Punjab, Rajasthan, Haryana, Chandigarh, Delhi, NCR. Punjab being the focus. We saw that Hardeep Singh Nijjar's properties were confiscated. They were attached.
Gurpatwant Singh Pannu's properties were confiscated. Gurpatwant
Singh Pannu's, who runs the Sikhs for Justice, his properties were also attached by the National Investigation Agency. So what investigators tell us is that the role of these radical elements, whom they call Khalistani elements, they overlap with those who are criminal gangsters, gangs operating in Punjab. What they say is that these are people whom these radical elements are using to propagate their ideology. Although We all of us know, we've reported from the ground that there are no takers for this idea of Khalistan in Punjab. In Punjab.
In fact, if I may interrupt, Ananya, sorry. I prefer not to use the expression Khalistan, even in my writing, etc., because my belief is don't paint the devil on the wall, right? If you keep on repeating this, for people of Punjab, particularly Sikhs, it's almost like trolling them, right? They see it as trolling them. Why are you questioning us all the time? So that's a little bit of my opinion, which I also expressed in my national interest column last week. So that out of the way. Go ahead now.
Yes. So investigators say that these are the people, the radical elements in Canada are using these gangsters to propagate their own agendas. What they're doing is pumping in money, which is also drug money. It is money that is, that they get from these arms. A lot of it is being supported from Pakistan, like when we talk about Nijjar, whose killing actually started this controversy. His killing, in fact, they are saying that since he was involved in the killing of a lot of Hindu leaders, followers of Dera Sacha Sauda, though that was being propagated through Canada, and a lot of these funds were being received from Pakistan. They have been pumping a lot of funds, and this is what National Investigation Agency is saying, that there is a clear nexus between these gangsters and these radical elements sitting in Canada. And these are not just Canada. In fact, like you said in the beginning, Italy, UK has a lot of these radical elements. Canada is one. Armenia, a lot of gangs are being operated from Armenia. Italy is one of them. So these countries, there are a lot of these countries where these people are stationed and are running and pumping in money to propagate their own agenda.
Yeah, and Armenia, for example, Greece, even Portugal to an extent, next step, Cyprus, these are also countries which are hubs of illegal immigration.
Right, absolutely.
And a lot of that illegal immigration comes from Punjab.
Right.
So the same triads then work in that area as well. So we have to pick up the thread somewhere in this. So let me first of all mention a whole bunch of names for you. I have said this earlier, but I do remember that we had a botany teacher in our college. I've used that example earlier, who, when it comes to the class, will first draw a diagram on the board. Everybody will stay silent for about 10-15 minutes and then label it and then start explaining it. So I follow that example occasionally. So I'm doing that now by mentioning a whole bunch of names for you, right? Because these are names that will feature as we go ahead. So first of all, names of some organizations. These are all banned organizations, banned radical organizations, radical separatist terror organizations. That's why they are banned. So one, Babbar Khalsa International, you can see the acronyms BKI, Babbar Khalsa International, KLF, Khalistan Liberation Force, ISYF, that is International Sikh Youth Federation, Khalistan Tiger Force, KTF, of which Hardeep Singh Nijjar was supposed to be the chief, and then Khalistan Commando Force, KCF, which is a very old organization. That organization is so old that its prime was in the years when I was a reporter like Ananya. That is in the 80s. Then its founder and chief, Paramjit Singh Panjwad, he escaped from India because in Punjab the heat was too much, and he went to Pakistan, and he's been living in Pakistan since then. And he, as Ananya will tell you, is among people who recently died. In his case, there was no mystery to how he died. At least we know that two persons in Lahore got out of their vehicle and shot him at close range and got away. So he was killed. So these are the organizations: BKI, KLF, ISYF, KCF, KTF. So in fact, these radical terrorist organizations, our colleague Priya Krishnan Kuti, she did a story on those, and we'll share a link of that story with you. You will see a screenshot also. Then you have some elements who are again Sikh separatist elements, all in Canada. Mostly in Canada, almost all in Canada. Ripudaman Singh Malik, we'll tell you about him. Gurpreet Singh, Gurjinder Singh Pannu, Gurjeet Singh Chima, Malkeet Singh, Parvkar Singh Dulai, Bhagat Singh Brar, interesting story there. Sulinder Singh, Tehal Singh, Hardeep Sohota, Gurpatwant Singh Pannu, him you know, he has dual nationality, America and Canada, and Harpreet Singh Nijjar, of course, whose death has created all this commotion. Then you have criminal gangs and gangsters. Lawrence Bishnoi, Satinderjeet Singh, alias Goldie Brar, Arshdeep Singh Gill or Arsh Dalla of KTF. KTF is Khalistan Tiger Force. Also, he's also designated terrorist. Sukha Duneke or Sukhdul Singh, the man who recently got killed in Canada in Winnipeg. Then Ramandeep Singh alias Raman Judge. Lakhbir Singh Sandhu alias Landa. Harvinder Singh Sandhu alias Rinda. He died recently in Pakistan of poisoning.
Yes.
Right? Poisoning. And the interesting thing is, when he got poisoned, however he got poisoned, he was actually treated in Lahore's military hospital. So that tells you what an important asset he was. He must have been for the Pakistanis and ISI. And then there is Satnam Singh alias Satta. So these are the people, this is the cast of characters. Now, Sukhdul Singh's killing. We've talked about Nijjar, etc., Gurpatwant Singh. Sukhdul Singh's killing. First of all, why does he have his name? Sukha Duneke?
Sukha Duneke.
So in many cases in Punjab, these are not second names. These are the names of villages they come from. For example, the Badal family, Prakash Singh Badal, Sukhbir Singh Badal, Manpreet Badal. This is not their second name or caste name or clan name. They come from Badal village. So a lot of the people from Punjab, Sikhs, particularly Jat Sikhs, what looks like what is their second name is actually the village name.
Yes.
So Sidhu Moosewala, the singer who got assassinated also, he's named after his village, right?
Yes.
So in fact, Moose, his village also features in many of his lyrics.
Right.
So tell us what happened with this Sukhdul Singh, who got killed. In fact, just a few days after Justin Trudeau made these allegations, and the Indian response to those allegations, as Foreign Minister Jaishankar also said in New York just yesterday, he said that there are lots of gangs and gangsters who are indulging in drug smuggling, gun running, etc., operating out of Canada.
Yes.
And Canada has a permissive attitude.
Right.
So in this case, Sukhdul Singh or Sukha Duneke was killed. There were 9 bullets in his head,
yes,
right? In his home.
Yes.
Canadians haven't protested about this as yet. So what is the story there?
So to talk about Sukha Duneke, we'll go back to Lawrence Bishnoi and Bambiha gangs. These are the two main characters when we talk about gangs in Punjab. So these are the two main gangs. So Lawrence Bishnoi, who was also involved with the Sidhu Moosewala murder, he has over 67 cases registered against him in different states.
And at one point, his gang had almost 700 members.
Yes, almost 700 members. So
all over North India.
Yes, and several cases of extortion, murder, Arms Act, UAPA registered against him. In fact, he was arrested in 2014, and then he has been going from the he was first Maharashtra police took his custody, Gujarat police took his custody, ATS took his custody, NIA took his custody, Delhi police special cell took his custody. So he's been involved in several of these cases. And when you talk about Bishnoi, you can't help talk about Goldie Brar.
And it's generally understood that while he's in jail at Tihar, he's still running his operations.
Absolutely.
His gang is functioning all right, like the movies. So he's running his gang from Tihar jail. Tihar jail is a very comfortable place.
Right now he's in Gujarat.
So he's been taken to Gujarat. But has that stopped his operations?
Nothing.
No, nothing.
So he has been operating from inside prison. Like I said, he was arrested in 2014. And his rivalry with Bambiha gang. Bambiha gang again is a gang. The gang member, the first person was Davinder Bambiha. He comes
from Bambiha, once again, as I told you, these are second names are named after their villages.
Yes.
So Davinder Bambiha. Bambiha is a village about 20 kilometers outside of Bathinda.
Yes.
But Bambiha also is the Punjabi for a little bird, a tiny hawk kind of bird. So when I read Davinder Bambiha, I was wondering for a moment whether he's named after the village or he's nicknamed after the bird. And while I was Googling it, I found that one of Sidhu Moosewala's biggest hits with Amrit Maan is Bambiha Bole. That's the bird speaks, the hawk speaks, but that is also a song, big hit. It's quite catchy. It's already become a earworm for me. But it has gun culture, it has Jattism, it has lawlessness, it has revenge killing, it has vigilante justice, it has a shotgun, it has a tribute to Pantali. Pantali is 45, which means 0.45 sizable gun, right? All of that stuff and all of that machismo is there. And we'll also talk about how popular culture in Punjab has got mixed up with this. So tell us about this.
Lawrence and Bambiha.
Lawrence and Bambiha.
So Lawrence Bishnoi, like I said, has over 67 cases, has been in
Bishnoi
custody.
is not a Sikh.
No,
Bishnois are actually a caste which is seen more in Haryana and Rajasthan.
Right.
The Bhajan Lal family, by the way, of one of the three Lals of Haryana, Bhajan Lal family is a Bishnoi family, and Bishnois are vegetarians.
Yes.
They are also people who are known to protect their animals.
In fact, one interesting bit here is that Lawrence Bishnoi is a student from DAV College in Punjab,
Chandigarh.
So, Chandigarh. And one of the first crimes he did with one of his fellow students was to send threats to Salman Khan when he was involved in the killing.
So complaints against Salman Khan in that Black Buck shooting case was filed by the local Bishnoi community. So Lawrence Bishnoi is the biggest gangster now?
We can say that, one of the biggest gangsters. And like I said, his rivalry with Bambiha has been there since very long. In fact, it started
and Devinder Bambiha was a sharpshooter who then built a gang of his own.
Yes, he was a sharpshooter from Bambiha village near Bathinda. And
I can't forget Bathinda. I was in Bathinda in class 6. Some time back. 1966, yes.
Okay. And it was, in fact, in 2016 that he was killed in police action in an encounter.
7 years back. And that set off a cycle of revenge killings.
2006. In fact, what is surprising is that even after his killing, the gang is very strong. And like I said, that it is being run by a person called Lucky, and he is sitting in Armenia. And he is handling.
And Armenia is a country which is dealing with Azerbaijanis walking all over it right now. They're facing war, and they are the ones who've just now dumped their historic backers, that is Russia, and gone to the West, the Americans, and right now Russians are holding out threats for them. So this guy has also got himself into a really troubled place where nobody has time to pay attention to him.
Maybe that's what works for him. But so Lawrence Bishnoi and Bambiha, they had this rivalry. There was student politics also involved. Goldie Brar was an associate of Lawrence Bishnoi. His brother, in fact, was killed in one of these rivalries in 2020.
Whose brother?
Goldie Brar's. His name is Gurdeep Brar. He was killed.
So Goldie Brar is Satinderjeet Singh Brar.
Yes.
And you talked about his brother.
So Goldie Brar's brother, Gurlal Brar.
So let me get it right. Goldie Brar is from the Bishnoi gang, Lawrence Bishnoi gang.
Yes.
So this is Lawrence Bishnoi, this is Goldie Brar, and his kid brother,
was
Gurlal Brar, like the movies, was assassinated.
Yes, he was killed in October 2020 outside a nightclub
in
Chandigarh. And that was apparently executed by the Bambiha gang. Right. Now, this is what, when you talk about revenge, that is what happened with Sukhi Dhunika in Canada, in Winnipeg. So, the allegation is that the members of Bishnoi gang killed Dhunike to avenge the killing of Gurlal Brar. That was killed in 2020.
And there were some claims made from the jail also. And I saw a lot of stuff on Twitter, including people saying pride of the Bishnoi clan.
Right, absolutely. Right. So this was like a revenge killing. So like I said, that this fight between Bambiha and Bishnoi gang has been ongoing. Even Sidhu Moosewala was considered to be close to the Bambiha gang, and that is why he was assassinated. Now, when he was assassinated, they said that that was to avenge the killing of Vicky Middukheda. He was an Akali Dal leader.
So there's one more character who's come in. Vicky Middukheda. Yes. Again, Middukheda is a village.
Yes.
Right. Vicky Middukheda was assassinated by
members of the Bambiha gang. And that is to avenge that. Sidhu Moosewala was then killed, who was considered to be close to the Bambiha gang. And also that Vicky Middukheda was considered to be a very close associate of Lawrence Bishnoi. In fact, they said that they were brothers. So this is how this
because
rivalry.
Hindu security is intact.
Yes,
right?
at least,
in all kinds of places. Yes.
So
Right.
this is why this assassination of Sukhi Duneka, which happened on 22nd September, happened. And again, the Canada police has still not been able to identify who the gunmen were, who the killers were. But then in Punjab, this is the theory that this was a revenge killing for Gulal.
So how does this dovetail into the radical business, radical extremist business?
So what NIA investigators tell us is that, like I said, that these are the people who provide the base for them in India, because they are associated, these gangs are associated with these radical groups in Punjab. What they also tell us, and which is very interesting, is to keep this alive, this sentiment of, this, like when we see SFJ also, this Sikh referendum, we didn't see much, we didn't see it picking much steam.
I think all of the voters were foreign passport holders.
Right, absolutely. And what investigators also tell us is that a lot of people from Punjab wish to go to Canada, right? That everybody knows that there is this thing of going to Canada. सबको कनाडा जाना है. तो उस चीज के लिए what they did was that they said that we will offer you money, you come over, and all these people who don't have the means land up there, and these are the guys who arrange for jobs like plumbers or in transport business, etc. These are the guys who arrange jobs for
some
them.
even for cleaning, etc.
Yes.
in gurdwaras and places.
Absolutely. Yes. And that is how they repay them, that we are going to join in for your protest, whatever is happening. So they'll say that there'll be a call, you'll have to come outside the Gurudwara, or even for that matter, these protests outside embassies and high commissions that we see. So all these are curated crowd, which these people who go to them from Punjab, and they don't have the means to, pay the agents and do it. So these are the guys who arrange for all documents for them and resources.
Yeah. So in Punjab, for example, some political parties and some political leaders on their letterheads even issue letters to these people saying that so and so is targeted by Punjab police or Indian security agencies and should be given asylum. And there's a fee for those asylum letters. I mean, Canadians believe it. They must be really innocent, but that's the reality. That's why this entire cast of characters that I read out to you are people, with the exception of 3 in Pakistan, who are no more, right? Who are no more. All the rest are in Canada, because that is the home for them. Now, some killings in Punjab, some killings and some attempted killings, because each one of these killings actually has the potential of creating communal tension in Punjab, right? Or rousing the orthodox Sikh sentiment by saying that so and so stands against Sikhism. For example, followers of Dera Sacha Sauda.
Yeah.
So that is to play into the Sikh conservative sentiment. So Baba Bhaniara was killed in 2014. He was like a reformist Sikh preacher.
Yeah. Right.
He was killed. And then Manohar Lal, who was a Dera Sacha Sauda follower, in 2021. And there was attempt on the life of Pragya Gyan Muni, who is a Hindu priest. He survived, right? These, one attempt and 2 killings, 3 attempts, 2 successful. Who paid for these and who carried these out, you think?
So, sir, investigation in fact has shown that it was Nijjar. And Nijjar had in fact planned and used his resources to carry out these executions. In fact, they also tell us that there was a training camp that he had set up in Canada in 2015.
We've used pictures from that. In fact, a little video which was on social media of his firing assault rifles and other people with him, and he's demonstrating to them how to fire assault rifles.
So that was in 2015.
And he's posed with an assault rifle, often enough.
Right. And in 2016, there was a person called Mandeep Dhaliwal, who was then sent to Punjab from that camp to carry out an execution of a Shiv Sena leader. And he was then arrested in June 2000.
Shiv Sena isn't very much in Punjab, by the way. You know, a few people call themselves the leaders. But, you know, if one is assassinated, it has the potential of creating a communal rift.
Right. And then he was arrested in 2016, after which this entire plot was unraveled of Nijjar's involvement in this.
Yeah. So And these hits were carried out by gangsters, by gangsters hitmen?
Yes, these hitmen. In fact, in most of these cases, you would see that these are unidentified bikers who would just meet you somewhere and pump in bullets. And that's how they get killed.
Yeah.
So those gangsters or those foot soldiers.
So this is radicals hiring gangsters.
Yes, because they pump in money.
Because
to make a
radicals
statement.
don't have foot soldiers here of their own.
Right.
Right. So
right.
this is
they
from
try to do it through these gangsters.
Yeah. Now, since we're talking about killings and counter killings in Canada, and this Sukhdev Singh happened in Canada,
Yes.
there's another name. Most of the people who were conspirators in the Kanishka bombing escaped in Canada, were not convicted. One was convicted and served a shorter sentence and a softer sentence and is now leading a normal life. Couple of others got acquitted. Now, of those who got acquitted, one was Ajaib Singh Bagri, the other was Ripudaman Singh Malik.
Yes.
As I understand, and I just mentioned those names to you earlier in my cast of characters, these two in the course of time became friendly with Government of India,
Right.
and gave up the radical cause.
Yes.
Isn't it?
Yes.
So of these, Ripudaman Singh Malik, one of the alleged conspirators of Kanishka bombing, he was assassinated last year in Canada, in the same general area of British Columbia.
Right.
What happened and why? And who is suspected to have got it done?
So he was considered to be close to Babbar Khalsa.
Because the bombing was carried out by
Yes.
BKI, Babbar
BKI.
Khalsa International.
Yes.
That's the first of the 5 groups we had mentioned.
And the key person was Talvinder Singh Parmar.
Who,
Yes.
as I had mentioned earlier, Talvinder Singh Parmar escaped from Canada. Nothing happened to him. Canadians didn't even charge him. He went to many countries. Finally landed up in Pakistan. Ran his operations in our Punjab, from Pakistani Punjab. Until 1992, he landed up in our Punjab. In my view and instinct, he was lured by our agencies to come into Punjab, and then he died in an encounter with 6 other accomplices. So Talvinder Singh Parmar was the main guy. That said, Ripudaman Singh Malik, if he was one of the conspirators of Kanishka, then why would anybody have any interest in killing him? If he had got away, if anything, then Indian agencies would have an interest in killing him. But Trudeau is not saying that Indian agencies got him killed.
So what happened there was that in 2019, his name was taken off a blacklist. I mean, this was not an official list, but then there was a blacklist which
People who were not allowed to come into India.
Come into India from Canada, and there were about 314 names on that list. So in 2019, Modi government took off 312 names.
In fact, Modi government made a big outreach to Sikh community. So it was like, Punjab has had peace for such a long time. There is no radicalism. So give everybody a little bit of the peace dividend. And that peace dividend was also distributed to Sikhs who might have become foreign citizens, but Sikhs who were living overseas but were not able to visit India because they had earlier links with radicalism. So anybody who was currently not under trial, or who had been acquitted in trials overseas, or who had served their sentence, like that Atwal who came with Justin Trudeau in Delhi, all of them were lifted from the blacklist. So that was among the confidence building measures or CBMs carried out by the Modi government. So that is when they lifted the blacklist. They also lifted the blacklist ban, travel ban on Ripudaman Singh Malik also.
Right, which is why he was able to come to India after that. And that is when he started, praising and saying it openly that Modi government has done a good job, not just by lifting a ban on these people, but also by reopening a lot of these 1984 Sikh riot cases. So he started openly, even in Gurudwaras, he started openly praising Modi government for these measures, and he then wrote a letter also to the Prime Minister thanking him for this, and also started saying that there was a nefarious campaign which was going against Prime Minister Modi, and this is something which what we hear is that Nijjar did not like. So
and Nijjar spoke about it.
Nijjar spoke about it in a lot of these Gurudwara committee meetings as well. That this man is a Deshdrohi, ek kaum ka
गद्दार है,
गद्दार है, traitor है of the Sikh community.
Yes.
So that is what he said openly, and he said that he will pay a price for this, and he had said this openly in a lot of these meetings. And soon after that, there was an attack on Ripudaman Singh Malik, and again, two gunmen who shot at him, and they were not identified. Later, 2 people were arrested, but nothing happened in that case.
That's typical Canada.
Exactly. So that is what, but Nijjar is said to be behind that killing.
Yeah. And all these killings that are taking place in Canada also are all gangster style or gangsta killings, as these might be called, right? There is no doubt about that. Now, what I will do is, I will just run through the rest of the names on this radical list and give you one line each on their claim to fame, right? So, Ripudaman Singh Malik, we told you, he got assassinated by people who did not like the fact that he had now started traveling back to India. The ban on him was lifted, and he was saying good things about the Modi government. Gurpreet Singh, originally from Moga district, he's been living in Surrey, the same area where Nijjar lived, and he's been from ISYF and Khalistan Liberation Force, both organizations. He's also been charged with funding the next guy on the list, that is Gurjinder Singh Pannu, who has a red corner notice issued against him by Interpol and faces charges under various sections of UAPA and the Arms Act. Each one of these people has a genuine CV in that business.
Yeah, and these are also people that are on the list that Amrinder Singh had actually given to Justin Trudeau.
Yeah.
These people were on that list.
Which he didn't bother about. And, and Gurpreet Singh also has an Interpol red corner notice on him. Then we come to Gurjeet Singh Cheema. Gurjeet Singh Cheema is a Canadian national, again lives in Brampton, again active member of the band International Sikh Youth Federation. He also faces serious charges in Punjab. Then Malkeet Singh. Malkeet Singh is a member of Babar Khalsa International, BKI, which was held responsible for the Kanishka bombing. He also goes by the nickname Fauji. He also lives in Surrey, in the same Nijjar zone. And he also has a red corner notice. In many of these cases, while there are red corner notices against everybody, Canadian government hasn't bothered to arrest them or hand them over to India. All they've done is to put most of these people on no-fly lists.
Yeah.
And no-fly list, I think, is qualified so that they can fly within Canada.
Yes.
But they can't leave the country. So this is really not much of an action. That's what is done. Then the next name is Parvkar Singh Dulai. He was placed on no-fly list in Canada in 2018. He allegedly orchestrated a parade in tribute to Talvinder Singh Parmar, who was the main accused in the 1985 Kanishka bombing. Which brings us to Bhagat Singh Brar, and I told you there is something interesting about him. Bhagat Singh Brar, he is the son of Lakhbir Singh Rode. Lakhbir Singh Rode is the founder of Khalistan Liberation Force. He is now based in Pakistan, and he is a nephew of Jarnail Singh Bhindranwale, and that is the connection. So he is among the senior people still surviving in Pakistan. So Lakhbir Singh Rode, in fact, has been charge sheeted by NIA for his role in a blast in a court complex in Ludhiana in 2021. Brar is based in Brampton and again was put on a no-fly list, as the Canadian authorities also assessed that he was probably an extremist who had engaged in, and whatever they said has been redacted from their documents. So Khalistani extremist who has been engaged in redacted terrorist-related activities, particularly in fundraising in support of terrorist attacks overseas, right? Lives in Canada as a free man, except he can't travel overseas. So Sulinder Singh again lives in Brampton. He has been closely associated with Vadhava Singh Babbar, the chief of the band Babar Khalsa International, the chief now. He's been raising funds for Vadhava Singh. Then that brings us to Tehil Singh, who comes from Jalandhar, again lives in Brampton. That Brampton is quite a place. He's been managing funds for separatist sympathizers and is a close associate of Surinder Singh. He also has been held responsible or has been charged with managing targeted killings in Punjab, which again brings us to the next character in this cast of characters, Hardeep Sahota, who again lives in Surrey in the same area as Nijjar's area and is an active member of the Khalistan Commando Force. He has allegedly been involved in hatching plots to carry out targeted attacks on individuals in Punjab. And then we come to the better known or the more infamous people, that is Lakhbir Singh Rode, who's in Pakistan, and Gurpatwant Singh Pannu, who's dual citizen of US and Canada, and Hardeep Singh Nijjar, who was killed in June this year. So this is now the entire cast of characters lives, I think, with the exception of one, Lakhbir Singh Rode, who still lives in Pakistan. All the rest are in Canada. So, do you have any sense of whether NIA will be able to now stop this business of people living in safe sanctuary in Canada with no more bars on them or their movements, except being put on no-fly zone, so they can't fly out of Canada? They being able to run these operations, carrying out the hits that they want in India, using gangsters, drug runners and arms smugglers.
So that is their attempt. Their attempt is to at least cut that supply chain by targeting the gangs that are operating closely with these radical groups. And that this is why they are going on doing these raids and cracking down upon these gangsters involved with these people who are actually acting as foot soldiers here in Punjab. So that is what they are doing, in fact, by also confiscating their properties here in Punjab, or because that is their jurisdiction. They really can't do much. In fact, in the past, we have been told that there are several requests that were sent to Canadian authorities. There were so many lists that were handed over to them. There are red corner notices, as you mentioned, against these people. These are individual designated terrorists. And so many, of these communication has been sent to Canada, but nothing has been done about these people till now. Like you said, that they are, that Canada is like a safe haven for them, and that is how they've been operating freely out of Canada. And that is what I think has become the biggest contention. But our agencies are doing whatever they can, whatever is permissible under their jurisdiction.
Sidhu Moosewala's murder, that also brought into focus the links that
Yes.
that this nexus of terrorists, gangsters, smugglers has with the music industry, because Punjab music industry is flourishing.
Right.
It has a lot of stars. Another star, Shubh, was now prevented from hosting a show, from holding a show in India.
Yes.
Again, because some of his lyrics and some of his other stuff were found to be objectionable.
Right.
And there's a lot of gun culture and instant justice, vigilante justice in these videos, music videos and lyrics. So what is the connection that these guys have with the music industry?
So it starts with giving protection to these singers who are very popular, not just in India, but they have a massive fan base in Canada as well.
Yeah. And
because
rich.
Very rich. And because these guys, and so many Punjabis are there in Canada, which is why they do more shows in Canada and UK more than they do in India. So these gangs, what they started doing was threatening and extorting money out of these stars, these singers who are very popular. And the other gang then told them that we will give you protection if you give us this fund. So that's how these people, these singers, got sucked into this entire circle.
And I won't be surprised if some of their earnings are actually in cash.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And then you need those channels.
These are Hawala channels. A lot of money comes through Hawala channels as well, because
Yeah.
this is not declared income.
So, involvement of people of Punjabi origin in Canada. You gave me one data point. You said of the 20 people arrested in drug operations
Yes.
in Canada recently for drug smuggling, 9 out of 20 were of Punjabi origin.
Yes.
9 out of 20. And remember, Punjabis or Sikhs are just a little less than 2% of Canada's population. And this is almost half of all those arrested. And there's another data point that you mentioned to me, and I will conclude with that, which is on August 4, 2022. Canada's Combined Forces Special Enforcement Unit, that's the name you gave me.
Yes.
They put out a poster, and we'll try and see if we can find that poster for you. They put out a poster. This is the British Columbia unit of Combined Forces Special Enforcement Unit. This was a poster of 11 people, and I will quote from the poster. The poster says, and I quote, "Individuals who pose a significant threat to public safety due to their ongoing involvement in gang conflicts and connection to extreme forms of violence." Of these 11 people, Guess how many are Punjabis of Indian origin? Tell
9.
me. 9 out of 11.
Yes.
9 out of 11. So, in fact, there is a lot of gangland which has migrated or emigrated to Canada from our Punjab. The differences between the situation in India and Canada, that the system is quite loose and permissive, as Jaishankar said, so they can carry on with their activities there. Now, what they do to each other in Canada, we've seen examples of what they do to each other in Canada. We saw Ripudaman Singh's assassination. Now we've seen Sukhdev Singh's assassination, one being ascribed to gangster killings. The other one, nobody seems to have any insight on, right? But what would bother India, as long as they keep on doing their stuff in Canada,
Yeah.
these are interesting stories, right? It's a bad thing. Human beings should not kill each other. But the problem arises because they are also able to do their stuff in India.
Right.
And so what do you see happening next? Do you see this operations in Punjab continuing?
Yes, since that is, after Trudeau's visit and what he said in the parliament, this has again given momentum, impetus to this crackdown, and the National Investigation Agency, in fact, what sources tell us, is planning even more raids in the coming days. So we will be seeing more of these arrests and confiscation of properties of these people sitting abroad. And they hope to basically, like I said before, they hope to paralyze this system that they have created in Punjab by pumping in money, so that they could at least stop what is happening in Punjab if they can't get those people from Canada.
I think all we can say is that this movie isn't over yet.
Absolutely.
Because having raised the stakes so high, even Justin Trudeau now can't suddenly go silent. So this story will continue.
So just in case you were wondering what I was doing in my phone while speaking with Shekhar, I was just checking the notes that I had scribbled before the CTC.
So unlike me, not everybody takes notes like this. So stay with us. We'll bring more insights to you as and when we have them. And when I don't have them, I'll catch hold of someone like Ananya to tell us more about this.